The next story is inspired by the blurred image on the screen. Well, we don't want to disclose the image just yet, so stay tuned to the end of the story to see what the story was inspired by.
Teenagers are superficial, aren't they? They are obsessed with showing they are the best at something. No one wants to be left behind, or at least that was how things were in my town. Still, no adult believed that an argument between some teens would end in a disaster. Back then, I thought it all started one day between the break between classes. I loved playing basketball, especially with my friends Brian and Ray. So, we were doing that as usual. Brian was the best by far, as he was tall and strong. But when he failed, he used to make it big. I don't remember exactly what happened on that occasion, but the ball did end up hitting someone. Harold, who was sitting on a bench near the basketball court. Ouch! It didn't take long for Brian to approach our classmate. Are you okay? Yeah, I think so. Couldn't you be more careful, Brian? I am. It's not my fault if you're always sitting there, Harold. Can't you go to another place? But I like being here. Then don't bother us. Stay here knowing you can get hit or go watch your shit somewhere else.
Put him in his place, Brian.
Even though Harold was our classmate, I hadn't really talked to him much. The only thing I knew about him was that he liked anime and was quite lonely and quiet. But after all, he stood out because of his peculiar appearance. Pale skin, long black hair, and green eyes. It was precisely for this reason that the spiteful expression which he had looked at Brian before getting up almost sent a shiver down my spine. We continued playing, but I was left with a bad feeling. For the next few weeks, Harold didn't sit there, and I truly believed he would never do so again. One Monday morning, sometime after that, the head mistress of the high school came to our class.
Students, I'm sorry to announce your classmate Brian has been missing since last night.
That was the beginning of chaos. Interrogations, searches, and news on TV. It was all very confusing and scary, but the worst part was undoubtedly having to continue with our lives as if nothing was happening. But I just couldn't. I mean, one of my best friends was missing, and I didn't feel one bit safe anywhere. Come on! I told you I don't want to, Ray. It's not the same without Brian. So you're never going to play basketball again? Come on, let's do this. Try to forget all the shit that's going on. Okay. When we got to the basketball court, Harold was there on the bench Brian had kicked him off of. For some reason, Ray walked up to him. What are you doing here? Harold glanced up to see him, but this time, he didn't look nervous. Do you care? My friend remained silent for a few seconds. You know, you shouldn't be here. I don't give a shit what you think, Ray. Brian's not here anymore, so I'm not moving. How dare you bring that up? In a blink of an eye, my friend had lunged at Harold to hit him. Ray, stop! He turned to look at me and said, Shut the fuck up. Are you seriously going to let this freak do as he pleases? Little shit. Who's the little shit now, Ray? Calmly, Harold walked away from us. I thought Ray was going to chase him, but he stayed there. Can you get up? Let's go to the... No, we're not going to tell anyone. Why not? I'm going to give him what he deserves myself. All day until the end of class, I could feel the anger emanating from Ray, which was making me really nervous. I couldn't help but think, what is he planning to do? What if he gets into real trouble? Steven, huh? Will you help me or not? Get that idea out of your head. Just tell the teacher and it will be enough. You know it won't. Not for me. I won't. Do whatever you want. I could imagine my friend was going to beat the hell out of Harold. So as he walked behind our classmate, I also followed, without him noticing. Huh? At some point, the three of us started to head deeper into the forest. My heart started beating faster than it should at just the sound of a branch. I was too nervous to be true, but I mean, what if there was something out there? Anyway, when I turned to see Ray, he was gone. Shit, where are you? I started walking without really having a direction, until I began to hear some voices in the distance. What the fuck are you doing? Soon, I approached the place where my friend's voice came from, always taking care not to be noticed. But it wasn't that difficult anyway, since what I saw left me speechless. Harold was in a small cave, and next to him, leaning against the wall of the place, was Brian.
What is it? Are you scared?
Or rather, Brian's rotting corpse. Don't you dare! But the worst part was that Harold's teeth were obviously dirty.
He doesn't taste good at all, if you're wondering.
The moment I listened to him and confirmed my suspicions, I couldn't take it any longer. Damn, freak! You're gonna rot in jail! Steven!
I won't. Do you know why? Because now, thanks to Brian's meat, I'm stronger than you.
You're out of your mind. Harold smiled once more and then turned to my friend.
I'm even stronger than you, Ray. It seems you were right.
I felt as if my heart stopped in that instant I heard him. Ray soon turned to see me. His eyes were wide open. What were you right about, Ray? For a few seconds, that felt like hours. We were all silent. As he laughed, a shiver ran down my spine. Brian was the strongest, you know. The most agile, the best. I needed his body to do better. So, I did what I had to do. You? But this son of a bitch had to take what was mine and ruin everything. Seems like the threats weren't enough for you, right, Harold? I'll have to make them real. Suddenly, Ray ran towards Harold, and they both disappeared from my sight as soon as they entered the cave. I wanted to move. I wanted to do something, but I was paralyzed. It was the moment I saw Ray come out of the cave with that look of vengeance on his face that I started running. Steven! That day, I was lucky to be able to get out of the forest before him, since I was the fastest. Of course, it didn't take long for me to inform the police as soon as some people helped me. Now, after Ray was jailed for the murder of Brian and Harold, my family and I are moving to another place, as life there just became unbearable. The story was inspired by the character Orochimaru from Naruto. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy. I was walking home after being beaten up by the popular school bully Trevor when I heard a pair of footsteps following me. I looked back and saw a tall guy with red hair standing on the sidewalk. The moment our eyes met, I recognized him. He looked like Nagato from my favorite manga series, Naruto. He had long red hair and a very skinny build. I could almost count his ribs underneath his white shirt. Needless to say, I was shocked to see the guy and for a minute couldn't speak. He slowly walked up to me and said in a calm voice, "Do you need any help?" What? No, I was just tying my shoelaces. Help with other things. What other thing? He didn't talk for a few seconds, just kept staring at me with an expressionless face. I couldn't hold my curiosity anymore. Are you a fan of Naruto? Not Naruto, Nagato. You know he's not real. He is for me. You didn't answer my question. Do you need help? I honestly don't know what you are talking about. Trevor, do you want to teach him a lesson? Do you want vengeance? How do you know about Trevor? You ask all the wrong questions. Saying this, he started walking into this dark, narrow alley on the left. I couldn't ignore him even if I wanted to. I don't know why he didn't scare me at all. He was weird as someone can be, roaming around the streets dressing up like a fictional character, but still, I followed him. Where do you live? In the woods. Do you live alone? I'm never alone. I always have pain. Now he spoke like Nagato as well. I got goosebumps hearing him say it. It was like a fairy tale turned true. He stopped and turned towards me. Those who do not understand true pain can never understand true peace. Marvin will never know pain until he understands it. But how would I make him understand? You will have to lure him into the woods behind your school playground. I will be there waiting. Now, go home, as long as you have one. He went further into the alley and then disappeared into the darkness. I stood there thinking, what just happened? Did it happen? Was I dreaming, or some random stranger looking like Nagato agreed to help me to get rid of my bully? The next day, I went to school with lots of excitement. Today was the day I will finally get my revenge. My plan was simple. I will pick on Trevor as soon as the classes end, and then we'll run into the woods. Stupid Trevor will follow me, and my friend Nagato will be there to give him a taste of his own medicine. I reached school and got done with classes without interacting with anyone. Trevor was, as usual, picking on a new kid, and luckily, he didn't notice me the entire time. Once the class bell rang and everyone came out to the school corridor, I walked straight up to Trevor. He was standing in the corner laughing with his evil sidekicks. Hey, Trevor. Woohoo! Someone grew balls today. What's up, moron? I just wanted to tell you what a pathetic fart face you are. You think you are tough, but actually, you are just another scary kid who still wets his bed when his dad yells at him. Drop dead, you jerk. Saying this, I spat on his face and started running. You little pig! I heard Trevor's heavy footsteps behind me. He may be strong, but I was fast. Like a cheetah, I ran and ran until the dry leaves touched my feet and the woods engulfed me. When I finally stopped, I could see bushy trees surrounding me. Crickets were chirping and night owls began hooting. But where's Nagato? After a few seconds, Trevor came running too and stopped once he found me. In a panting but evil voice, he said, All this freak show didn't do any good to you. Who will save you now, moron? Do you know what I will do to you? I will punch your guts to a pulp. You picked on the wrong guy. My eyes desperately searched for Nagato. Where is he when I need him? I screamed to the depths of the woods. He's here! We are here! Who are you calling out to? God? He sure isn't coming to save your ass. Trevor lunged at me and punched me in the face. I fell on the dirt and tasted blood in my mouth. He then kicked me in the stomach so hard that everything in front of my eyes went blurry. Poor Justin. Can't even stand up to his bully. Trevor was going on with his insult and I was on the verge of collapsing. That's when I saw him. He was standing right behind Trevor, but he didn't notice. Nagato, you came. What? Trevor looked at me with surprised eyes and then looked behind him. What are you saying? Who is Nagato? He is my friend. He is going to bring you pain. You will get what you deserve, Trevor. Trevor looked around him once more and started laughing like I just cracked the biggest joke. Are you this delusional that you believe some anime character is going to come to your rescue? God, you're such a loser. Nagato smiled at me, but I was so confused. Why can't Trevor see him? He is standing right there. Nagato looked at me and then looked at a rock lying on the ground. Get up and pick up that rock. What? Why are you? Pick up that rock and smash his skull. You want revenge? Then you must take it with your hand. Now get up! I could see Trevor getting all confused. He was probably thinking that I am insane for talking to some made-up character. Okay, this is enough. I am done with your... Before he could finish, I grabbed the rock from the ground and hit him on the head as hard as I could. The smashing sound of his skull gave me such a relief. His big fat body fell to the ground. Trevor was silenced forever. I shook off the dust from my school uniform and looked at Nagato. He was standing there with his same expressionless face. There's a river down that edge. Throw the rock in it and go home. If anyone asks you, tell them Trevor punched you and you somehow ran away, saving yourself from him. Tell them you saw him going into the woods with a sketchy-looking man, and you don't know anything else. Okay, when will I see you again? When the time is right. This hatred binds us together. It's been 3 years now. I am all set to graduate high school. I haven't seen Nagato since then. The cops found Trevor's body 2 days later. They questioned every kid in school about the day Trevor went missing. Many kids told them how Trevor used to be a huge bully. I told them exactly what Nagato told me to. The case went on for a few more months. Many people accused the suspect, who based on my statement, lured Trevor into the woods, but the murderer was never found. So many kids in school kind of felt relieved that Trevor was gone. His parents left town, and this mystery remained unsolved. It still confuses me why Trevor couldn't see Nagato that day. I mean, I know he's not real, but he's very real to me.
Breaking up is one of the most difficult moments in a person's emotional life, especially when we're younger. I can't say I know what it feels like since it's never happened to me, but it did happen to my best friend who had just broken up with his psycho ex-girlfriend. Hey, don't feel so bad. You did the right thing. The situation with Moira was getting out of hand.
I know, Amy, but I miss her so much. Do you think we'll never get back together?
Only time will tell, but if you ask me, you're better off. The girl is insane. Maybe she just needs some time to calm down and reflect. This'll do you both good, and after this you'll be together again.
I know, but if we don't...
I know you will. I hate that you feel so bad. I have an idea. How about you come to my house and watch Naruto? I know you were just finishing it, and the best thing you could do is distract yourself a little.
But that's the anime I used to watch with her.
Yeah, but just like me, she had already seen it. You can finish watching it with me, and when she talks to you again, you'll have something to talk about.
You're right, Amy. Thanks for taking such good care of me.
Of course. What are friends for? After that, the days went by very quickly. Almost every day after school, Tate would come over to my house and we would watch Naruto together. He was still worried about his ex, but I held him back and told him that sooner or later she would show up, and for better or worse, she did. I started seeing Moira on the street, far away from me. Anyone would think it was a coincidence, but every time I saw her more and more often, closer and closer, watching me from different places with eyes full of anger. I just pretended not to see her and kept walking. Several days later, I woke up unusually. When I opened my eyes, I was sitting in a chair. On the TV, there was a Naruto episode paused. I tried to move my body to get up, but it didn't respond. I was tied up. I began to feel breath next to me, and I moved my head, slowly. Wakey, wakey! Moira was sitting next to me, with a maniacal grin and nervous eyes staring at me. She was dressed in a red kimono, identical to that of Sakura, a character from Naruto. Tate was also tied up in another chair. Nice house you have. Is here where you tried to steal my boyfriend?
Mara, stop! She has nothing to...
Shut up! Moira, I'm not interested in stealing your boyfriend. He always was, is, and will be a friend. Nothing more than that, I swear. Yeah, of course. That's just what the Shinigami told me you were going to tell me.
What?
The Shinigami is the demon of death in Naruto. She's lost her mind. Shut up, both of you! A few days ago, while I was at my worst, a Shinigami sent me a message and helped me straighten up. He taught me the truth. He also gave me the key to getting you back. Binding us against our will is the key? I told you to shut up! You know what we'll do? We'll watch a Naruto episode together. Moira sat on the floor and with a huge smile played the Naruto episode. Was this the same girl who slapped me less than 5 seconds ago? After the episode started, you could hardly tell that she saw it. As the minutes ticked by, she only saw our faces. It was as if she couldn't take her eyes off us. She just watched us obsessively, observing every fiber of our bodies. The episode ended, and it felt like only seconds had passed. Moira stood up, took out a small kunai from her pocket, and approached me. Sakura uses this weapon in the anime. Do you like it? Moira was playing with her kunai while looking at me. What she didn't know was that the ropes she used were loose, and I was able to free myself while watching Naruto. When she was distracted, I threw myself at her and pulled out the kunai. I lunged at Tate to free him, but she grabbed my feet and made me fall. I grabbed her head and slammed her to the ground. In one leap, I released Tate, who went running to call the police. Meanwhile, I put the kunai on her face and told her not to move. As the police took her away, I fell to the ground, crying inconsolably for all that had happened. With some guilt, Tate hugged me. So, do you think I still have a chance of getting Tate back when I get out of here? Absolutely. He's anxious to see you. He's just not ready to come here. I'm so excited! The Shinigami told me this was going to happen. Is that right? Yes. Everything he told me came true. He was the one who told me to watch the next chapter of Naruto. He also told me to loosen your ropes and let you capture me. He told me that you would always come to see me, and that as soon as I got out of here, Tate would come back to me. Wow, that Shinigami seems very wise. Thank you so much, Amy. I'm sorry I mistrusted you. The Shinigami also told me not to hurt you. I never planned to. What are you laughing about? Since we're so close, can I tell you a secret? Of course. Sweetie, there never was a Shinigami. The one who was texting you was me, just from a different phone. I don't understand. Tate was so sad. He missed you very much. Sooner or later, you were going to reconcile, and I didn't want to wait any longer. It was my turn to be with him. I gave you the address of my house. I let you see us watching Naruto, and I planned everything that happened that day. But you said that Tate hates you, and you'll never get out of here. Which is a shame, because I was going to invite you to our wedding in a few months. You're a... I think that was the last time I'm gonna visit her.
Hey, don't worry. You did what you could. I lost faith in her a long time ago.
But I wanted her to get better, so you guys could keep in touch.
You're so good, Amy. Don't worry. All I need is you.